right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Just Make It Pretty podcast. I have a wonderful episode for you today. We are talking about being humble on purpose and how you can lead with heart, clarity, and confidence. And I have a really special guest I'm really excited about. And I just can't wait for you guys to hear this because there's so much more to leadership than ego and being super impressive. Like we are all those things, but there's so much more behind the scenes that leads us there. And I just can't wait to talk about it. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Just Make It Pretty podcast, the slightly unhinged marketing podcast for home builders and beyond. I'm your host, Sarah Haynes, also known as the Pixel Wizard, and my goal is to tackle the tough stuff that goes in behind the scenes in marketing and offer actionable tips, creative insights, and a little bit of humor to spark some creativity. I'm so glad you're here. Now let's get started. So my special guest is none other than Taylor Humphrey. He's the Director of Sales and Marketing at Pacesetter Homes in the lovely DFW, Texas. He is very well awarded. He's been awarded the NAHB National Sales Manager of the Year in 2023. I actually was in the audience for that one, which was really excited.
Yeah.
And then also recently you were awarded McSam Marketing Professional of the Year, which congratulations on that as well.
Thank you.
So thank you for joining us, Taylor.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I don't know if I didn't remember that or if I maybe in the moment I didn't see you, but that's cool. I didn't know that you were there. It was a special night in Vegas a couple of years ago, and then yeah, excited to get the award recently. But the undertone to that is I didn't submit myself for any of those awards, and so I was just as surprised as you are. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 2023, it was my second IBS that I had been to, and it was the first time I went to nationals. And I
Yeah.
remember, I don't think we had really met at that point, but I remember you winning and then seeing you the next day and like all the like sessions and everything. And it was just like a crowd of people, like you were the it guy. And I just remember at that moment, like seeing how you were getting a lot of attention, but you were still so humble and you were like, I've got such a great team. And it wasn't, you had the opportunity to be like, yes, I am amazing. Tell me all of the things, which would have been totally justified and totally fine. But you had so much humility, and I just thought like that's a great leader right there. So like I've been waiting to have this conversation for a while.
I'm not gonna cry in this episode. Just hearing it, man. It's yeah. Yeah, I will. The short story for that night is my wife got stuck in a freeze and spent 8 hours on the runway to get to that award ceremony. She dropped her bag, she changed her clothes, she got to the awards literally 20 minutes before the award that I got, which is at towards the end of the night. And I got up and I thanked every single person that I could think of except for my wife.
Oh,
So if you got to see the video, I know it's out there of me winning my last award. The very first thing I did, and what was funny is my daughter watched it and she was like, "You didn't thank me," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh." But anyways, yeah.
there will be lots of other opportunities. You'll come up with a whole list that like scrolls down. You're like, these are all the people I have to thank.
I don't know what you're going to ask me later, but I can tell you if you want to know the secret sauce around me. I usually have a lot of strong-willed women around me, and so I'm just trying to appease as many people as I can.
That's a smart strategy, honestly.
Yes.
I have to admit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so today I really wanted to get into not only like that, like all of the success that you've had and like your leadership style, but just talking about, I think it's really easy for a lot of people to see people like yourself and other people that have a lot of success or they have a title that they're aspiring to have or something like that, and to think they've just got it all together. Like God has just blessed them and
Yeah.
it's just been so easy. And we
Yeah.
know logically that's not true, right? We can talk ourselves through. That's not how life actually works. But it's on the outside, the grass is always greener, and you just think they must not struggle with like imposter syndrome or these communication issues or whatever it is that
Yeah.
person's struggling with. I wanted to talk through that with you and how you'd handle all of those things. And like you have a big team and you've won these awards. So like how do you experience these struggles and how did you get to this place?
Oh, as far as like mentality and not taking myself too seriously I always remind myself that this could be just a moment. Like it could all be gone at a certain time. And really you touch base on it, like God is giving this to you It gives everything to you for a reason, right? Whether it's trials, tribulations, or success. And I grew up pretty rough. A short story is just I moved 56 times in my whole life. We were literally homeless many times, or we just lived with people. So I'm thankful all the time. Okay, what I'm doing now is just easy. Like the stuff I've had to go through versus sitting in a boardroom going over metrics that could not be further from each other. So I'm just thankful for that. And so it keeps me very grounded. Plus my home life. My wife is fantastic. She's my best friend. We've been married 20 years. Yeah, she keeps me very humble. If I go anything above with a little bit of ego, there's definitely are you sure about that discussion? So yeah, it's definitely having my heart grounded in a faith, grounded with my family, and just being appreciative of what I have today versus what I didn't have before. But what most people don't see is the grind. We're in marketing, right? Like you only see the highlights. You only see the model when it's done. You only see the awards, but what you don't see is the working till 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. You really don't. And that's no exaggeration. At 10 o'clock at night is not out of the norm. And
Yeah.
nobody really wants that. Like they want to get the award, but do they want to put in all the effort to get there?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And I think the people who are getting the awards, they don't necessarily talk about that. They also want to show this is my highlight reel. This is what I'm going to put
Right.
on LinkedIn. We don't have a box on LinkedIn that says work till 10 p.m. 400 nights. Like it's just not
Right.
part of what the story is.
Yep, exactly.
So I know that, like I said, everybody experiences like self-doubt and especially in those early years. So if you wouldn't mind, share how that, especially in the early years, but also still now, how that you've worked through those things and like that imposter syndrome that creeps up.
Professionally, day one. So I've been in this business now 20 years. Day one, I showed up as a construction manager and I showed up in a tie and I did not look like the other guys that were out there. They're all rough. Skinny jeans weren't a thing yet, but it's that kind of mentality. Like I definitely did not look like I fit in as a construction manager. I worked my way up. I was rookie construction manager of the year. Later, I was construction manager of the year. I just there was always from the outside. I was like, there's a lot of construction managers that had been in the business when I started that the minimum at that company was you had to have 10 years of experience and to be a construction manager for this level of home builder. But they took a chance on a young guy, and so I've always felt like the outsider there. Then when I wanted to move into sales, it was the same thing. So I moved to sales because overall I want to be a division president. So I want to know what it looks like to sit in the different seats and not
Mhm.
just from some book I read.
Right.
So when I moved into sales, it was, you're just a construction manager. Are you sure you want to do this? How long are you going to actually be here? And I moved up to one of our top salespeople. And then it's always been the same story. So then I moved to management. I was like, I want to be VP by the time I'm 30. So if you can put pen to paper there, I was young, moving down those rungs, and it's always been that you're just. And so maybe that goes to the my leadership style is I don't care how old you are. I don't care your background. I just want to know, are you ready to work? Are you ready to live up to what this team wants to do? And do you have the energy and the want? And I go over that whenever I'm interviewing is listen, if you're going to be around me, I'm going to teach you. So I got to know like you want to know these things in order to move you up because you're not going to stay where you're at if you're in this circle, if you will. To answer your question, the imposter syndrome has always been there. Even as recently as my award for marketing, literally right before it. Now I've been a director of marketing for 6 years at the director level. And right before, a guy that used to work with me on the sales side was like, why are you up for a marketing award? So there's always somebody, but if you take that with my personality, I'm not purposely going out and going, hey, don't forget, I've been in construction, purchasing land, I've done everything. I'm not reminding these people, so I like struggle with that internally. It's not their job to keep track of it, but so you
Mhm.
can't take that with more than face value. But it just shows it doesn't matter what level you're at, you're always going to struggle with some level of imposter syndrome. People are going to doubt you, so you might as well give them a show. right? And then who's better to be your biggest fan than yourself? If you don't believe in you, then how do you expect everybody else to do?
Yeah, that's such good advice. And I didn't realize that you were like coming into the industry so young. I think I've always had personally my thing about age because even when I was a kid, like I was never doing the thing that was age appropriate. I was doing the thing that was like 2, 5, 10 years older than what I was.
Yeah,
And people are like, you can't do that. You
yeah,
haven't paid your dues for that or whatever. And I hate it when people ask my age because I'm just like, now you're going to have a whole idea of what I am or like
yeah,
where I should be. And whether that's above or below of where I currently am, it just makes it just muddies everything to me. And
yeah,
so I feel like that's what kind of triggers that like imposter syndrome because then I'm like, what are you thinking? Are you like, am I where I should be? Like, I don't know. It's
yeah.
just,
You have two choices, right? It's fight or flight. You're either going to
mhm.
go, you know what, they're right, and I better listen to them because surely they know more than I do, or you're going to fight. I was in a meeting as a construction manager when I was young, and this guy is still a friend of mine today. He's still a VP, but the VP then, VP of construction, excuse me, said you cannot be a VP of construction and be under 35, and it pissed me off. Now, I didn't say anything because that's not me. That's not, but internally, I'm taking receipts. Okay. All right. We'll see. So, yeah, you're always going to struggle with self doubt, but you got two choices of what you're going to do about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, and it's all a mental game.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I think so connecting back to something else that you said too is like you have to communicate really well in order to move up, and you have to be yeah, communication, I feel like is just everything everywhere. And in order to have a career that's like moving in the direction that you want, you've got this vision, like you have to be able to communicate that vision. You have to be able to communicate to other people to like bring them along with you or to like there's just a ton that happens. And I know that you speak a lot about communication in general. How does that give me the overview of what that kind of means to you and what makes it so powerful?
From a career standpoint, I always have like a core. We all have core meeting or meanings, or excuse me, core memories. That's what I was trying to say in our career that we're like, hey, this was a pivotal moment, and you remember it. So I go back to when I was a construction manager. We had a big trailer, double wide trailer. And when the new guy, the 22-year-old kid, they put him in the cubicle, right? Construction trailers don't usually have that. That means that, hey, we're going to make a desk for you because we don't know how long you're going to be here, kind of thing. And I had been there a couple of years, and one of the construction managers left, and there was an open office. And this is going somewhere, so stick with me. There was an open office. And in a group of guys, your manager is a great manager, but he's probably not thinking, I need to move Taylor to that office because it means something to him. Never
Mhm.
crossed his mind. But for me, I was like, maybe they're going to give me that promotion. And for me, that promotion wasn't a change in title. It was, I get to actually get in a real office versus being in this cubicle. So I guess what I'm getting at is as a construction manager, I went to one of the other construction managers and said, hey, do you think he'll give me that office? And that guy was real outgoing and went to my boss and was like, why aren't you going to give him that office? And my boss literally was like, yeah, he can have it. What do I care? Sure, go ahead and move. So the lesson there is if you want something, you got to say it. Like you got to put it out there. You got to say this is what I want because it's not going to be on other people's radars, or it may not be. Don't wait for them to draw that connection to go, you know what? Sarah probably would be good at that. If you do, you're just going to be waiting around. But then as a leader, you need to be out there and figuring out like what are the goals that these people want because that was low hanging fruit. It cost the company nothing, but made a huge impact on my career to go, hey, can I just have that office? And it validated me, but he would have had no idea had I not said anything.
Yeah. Yeah, it is those little things, and it's more of an emotional thing too because that gave you the confidence to ask for the next thing and to keep going. So how do you do that with your teams? Because people don't generally always ask for what they want, or maybe they don't even know how to verbalize it. So how do you seek that out?
Straight up questions because of that moment. Like I've got somebody, and I don't know if she's going to listen to this podcast, but not going to get emotional. She means a lot to me. She's on my team. I think she's 30 now. When I got her, she was 25. I say got her. When she came on my team, she would
Yeah.
hide behind her hair. She wouldn't say a whole lot, but I could just tell there's something about this person, and she's so strong and so smart, so great. And so it's like, what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Because I need to know, because if I'm putting you on my team, it's my responsibility to help you get there. Now you got to do it. You can't just sit there. But if you're putting the things, or if you're putting in the effort, then I'm going to open the doors as much as I possibly can to get you where you want to go. And now, if you could see this person, so much more outgoing. I'm not calling her out by name because she would kill me if I did, but people that are listening that know her know exactly who this is. Now she leads my sales rallies when I'm sick, right? Which only doesn't happen too often, but now she's the main person that they go to if they have questions because, and I don't mean my sales team, the whole company knows this is the person. But that kind of goes to the leadership style. Like something when I was a construction manager, it was always like, hey, you always have the best trades. You always have, the best sales team that's around you, like getting you what you need. And at first I was like, what? I took that as like an insult. But then whenever I got on sales and got on construction, it was like, you must be hiring like all of the right people. No, I'm hiring for people that want to learn and they have the drive. And then now that I'm older, I won't say how old I am, but now that I'm older, I take that as a huge compliment that where people are like, what does Taylor even do? Is he out just playing golf? So, yeah, that's good. Yeah, I need you to see that these key people, they have been trained properly. They are doing what they're supposed to do, and they're the face versus, hey, look at me, look at me. I just put so much emphasis on making sure that the people that are busting their tail, that want to grow, have that opportunity. And I ask them, and then we're going to get you there. And then I have that accountability too. Hey, I'm putting a lot of time and effort. What's your next step? I actually had, and sometimes if you're a leader, that doesn't always mean people on your team. I had another person who now owns her own marketing firm, which maybe we'll talk about later. But whenever I was working with her, she was a director and wanted to be the VP. And we had that same conversation about my office. And I was like, go ask for it. I was underneath her. I was like, you got to go ask for the things you want because it may not be obvious to those. And the short story is she got it when she asked for it because she deserved it. She needed it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's such an honor when, you see someone on your team thrive and start growing. And I just can't think of anything that makes me more excited than like seeing that. And not only because I know that like I'm doing something right, but like that is going to live on forever. Like that impact that you have on these people is not just this small moment to them. That could be their core memory. Like you could be creating that
Yes.
right now.
Yeah, you have that choice as a leader. Like we all look back and we look at leaders that were like, oh, I had to work with that person. You don't want to be that. You want to make an impact in the rooms that you're not in, and you want it to be good. You want it to be like, I'm so thankful that Sarah took the time. You also have to put your ego aside and go, most people are going to go, I got trained and now look how good I am. But the smaller percentage that just takes the time to go, hey, thank you, Taylor, for all the time and effort. Those are your wins. Don't look for somebody to get up on a stage and tell you, hey, thank you so much for everything that you poured into them. If you're good with them saying thank you so much at a certain level, that all I need is a thank you. If I get that's huge, huge for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that you're making impacts just because like I've worked for a lot of leaders and I've talked to a lot of leaders and that thing of like where does my team want to go and get to their root like reason and like their thing that drives them. Like so many leaders just they skip over that part. And whether that's because they're spread thin or they don't have the structure around them that they can do that or if it's just that's not a skill that they have perfected yet, there's a ton of reasons or like it means to me like that's a sign of a really healthy, good leader that's going to build teams that are going to flourish beyond them. And it's a scary thing to say, I want to become irrelevant in my role, but as a leader,
Yeah.
that is what your job is to do.
Yeah. What is the definition of leadership? Is basically leading for the benefit of others, right? Like it's not for yourself, it's to build people up. And it just made me think of a text I got last night. We're looking for salespeople right now. And I got one of the guys on my team sent me a text and was like, "Hey, I'm having coffee with a guy tomorrow, and he's quitting because all of his sales rallies, they are just beating him over the head and they're threatening him." And you could see why leaders would do this right now. Hey, if
Yeah.
you don't sell, you're gone. That's fear-based, right? Like it's either fear or love, to quote a friend of mine. If he's listening, he knows what I'm talking about. But it's either fear and that you're going, hey, if you don't sell, you're going to lose your job, and so am I. Or it's like love. Hey, why are you not selling, and what can I do to help you? So conversely, my guy is meeting with them and saying, hey, you need to come here because it's changed my life. And when he texted me that, I was like, oh, that's that's all I need, man. Like that's why you stay up till 10 o'clock at night. The 10 o'clock at nights are usually, especially in leadership, they're not your problems that you created in leadership. They're problems that have been created for or by your team, and you're solving them, or you're trying to create something so that they won't have problems in the future. Anyways, sorry, I rambled a little bit.
No, that's okay. We do not have a specific script. So I want to pull marketers in a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're talking mostly my audience is marketers. And I know from being in marketing and working with teams, a lot of marketers struggle to feel like in the loop of what's happening in the company. And marketing is such an interesting career because like you get a ton of input and you get all of these opinions, but yet like you don't necessarily have the whole story every time. As someone who's leading sales and marketing teams, how do you think like we can work as leaders and like in marketing to better communicate and better collaborate so that we can bring people into the loop and to have a more cohesive like group of people that are all working towards common goals?
Yeah, there's a ton of different ways to approach it. The first thing is people don't know, as if you're just in marketing, people don't know what you do, and they're going to act like they know what they do. They know they have their own preferences, but they're not going to tell you that they don't know. One, it's in the way that you approach it. Us as a team, also on sales and marketing, the benefit is that I manage sales and marketing. I know not every company or every team is set up that way, but man, you cannot have one without the other. So you have to have just a tight understanding of both sides and educate across the hallway, across the aisle, on what they're needing and what you're seeing in your sales funnel, and explain, hey, this is where I'm seeing it. I'm seeing, or excuse me, I said sales funnel, what marketing funnel. This is what I'm seeing, and it's all getting to you. And don't go, hey, look at this. Web traffic's up. Facebook ads are up. Just the whole all the way down, and put conversion sucks. It's on you. You can't do that. You have to make sure that they are educated enough to look at it and go, okay, let's go each community. Here's the breakdown. Okay, what do you think we can do to do that? So they're on the same team. And then when you get outside of that, when you get to different departments, you got to do it with a loving and respectful outreach, especially if you can get a construction guy on your team from a marketing standpoint. There's a company out here in Dallas right now just doing it. And I'm like, man, that's awesome. They get to be a part of it. The construction team gets to be a part of it. And frankly, we're gonna do something exactly like that. So it feels like we're all selling houses, right? It is lead generation and conversion. That's what we're trying to do. And you have to have all of them on the same team. Now, I'll say also, what we also do is twice a week I have coffee talk. And I think there might be young folks on the call that don't remember Mike Myers and Saturday Night Live having coffee talk. But on my scheduling request in Outlook, it's a picture of Mike Myers. And I got this from Rhonda Conger. Twice a week, we have a 30-minute meeting where we're going over marketing, and we bring people into it's sales and marketing, but we bring people into that. And it's just we're having a cup of coffee and we're talking about it. And you have to have the openness of when somebody says, hey, it would be cool. We all hate that, right? So no, we know what we're doing, we know best. Sometimes give them a win, man. Like I've got it right now where we're calling the portion of a neighborhood a muse, because that's what it is. It's a muse. And the salespeople are like, I really want to call them garden homes. Does it make a difference? Is it going to sell more houses? Does it make them feel like they contributed? Yes. Then do it. You know what I'm saying? Don't
Yeah.
shut it down and be like, you don't know any better, because that just creates silos.
Yeah. No, you're right. And marketing, I heard somewhere, or maybe I read it on LinkedIn or something, but it was so funny because it was like marketing is one of the unique positions where like everybody has an opinion and everybody wants to contribute, but no one really knows. And
Yes.
they use the example like no one goes to an accountant and says, "Hey, let's file our taxes differently this year." You
Yeah,
don't get
exactly.
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like marketing you do. And I think marketers in general, they want to collaborate. Like they need
Yes.
ideas.
Yeah.
Like we are ideaed out because we have to come up with a new idea for the same exact topic every single day for like ever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like new ideas are great. And like coming up and that collaboration is helpful. But I do think some of us get jaded in they're going to send this, they're going to tell me I have to do this. And then I know
Mhm.
it's going to be stupid. And then blah, blah, like floor, it just grows.
Well,
And that's
they
not a good
push it downhill. They push it. Oh, it's marketing. Marketing can figure it out. Marketing can figure it out.
mhm.
When you have, because we do a lot of feedback councils and stuff like that. And when I ask like questions, people know what they like, but they need us to create that vision. So that's where we just ask them a bunch of questions to try and understand. So we can get, if we can get 10% of a really good idea and grow it to something, now they're bought into it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely think it's both sides. Always want to support the marketers and help them understand. And yes, it is irritating when you get, oh, we're gonna have an open house in 2 days. I need an entire campaign and I need you. And it's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Like that is frustrating, but like that communication goes both ways. Like you have to also highlight all the work that goes into throwing that open house and all the strategy that you put into it and bring people into the fold so that it's not a frustration on their side because they're just like, I'm just trying to sell houses here. Why can't I have an open house? Like they get frustrated too.
Well, share your funnel. That's something that we've done. We have our funnel and we send it out to the sales team and we go over it because they're always like, I need traffic. I think everybody on this call just flinched a little bit. I need traffic. They always say that. And then when we start working them through the numbers and we show it, it becomes more obvious. Really, you need 1 unit of traffic to get 1 contract, right? So what are we doing to nurture that once we get it to you? So much has been just education, but yes, I know exactly what you're saying of where it's just, oh, I need this. Marketing needs to help me. We'd go a third and a third. You're responsible for a third of your traffic. You need at least two realtor events per month that we will help you out with. We will support you. We'll get it, but we need at least a week's heads up. If you're getting it at 2 days, you need to be talking to a manager somewhere that's, hey, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to get on my soapbox. I'm gonna cut myself off on that one.
Yeah, no, I get on my soapbox on that stuff all the time. But I love that you said like it starts with leadership and like you are putting that structure in place to like grow this type of communication and this type of just culture in your company so that everyone can thrive because we are all working towards the exact same goal to sell
Social
houses.
media is a huge one, right? I heard a stat 2 weeks ago, 67% of salespeople sell 67% more homes that use social media. We have a minimum of 3 social media posts per week that we do as a company. And all you got to do is go in and share it. Create the interaction with your own community. But then within our sales rallies, we're also presenting that information to them. Hey, here's what we're doing with you. And then we're, as a leadership team, that's, hey, you're required to do social media to get it out there and create some of your own content that we also share. Get it to us and we'll share that too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. If I get to share something that my team created, I'm like, first of all, so much better reach than if like the company posts it. Like
Yep.
we're bringing everybody in. All of our customers get to see who like we really are. And
Yeah.
two, I'm like, I get to support them now too. It goes both ways. Like I get to elevate your personal brand in the process. And
Yes.
so it's such a win-win. I'm like, that's amazing. Can we do this all the time?
Yeah, a lot of the salespeople specifically will say, "Hey, I don't know where to start." They don't, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Hey, let's have some workshops. Let's, as a group, we'll learn, and then we'll come out with you and we'll do it one on one. and get you going. We'll do some realtor events around that too, because your realtors want to know how to do it. You got to put some things around them to get them going, and then you have to manage to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So, when you were coming up as a leader, how did you create this philosophy of like how you wanted to create this culture? And was that always what you felt like you were going to be or do, or like how did that change?
So big sports guy. I grew up playing baseball all the way up into college, and some of it does come from that. Some of it is, hey, I've been a captain on a baseball team many times, and so there's some of that, and some of it's, and I've seen my leadership style also change as I have a 13-year-old now, so you learn as you grow as being a parent, and then like I said, is a lot of it is just seeing really good leaders around me and gravitating to them. I don't think you should go out and go, that's the leader I want to be, and I'm going to carbon copy him. I think you need to look for leadership. Like you need to read books about leadership. You need to listen to speakers on leadership, and then you need to take little pieces, little nuggets here and there to grow your own brand and your own type of leadership. But where I see many leaders fall short, and I just did a post on this on LinkedIn, was just people don't slow down and understand, hey, if I hired a really smart person, why did they make this decision? What happened during this, whether it's sales, whether it's marketing, like what caused them to do this? Did I not set the proper expectations? Did I not train them properly? What was it? And I think what gets in the way of that is many people lead with their ego, like you mentioned before, and they're afraid to either say it was you, it was me, not you. They're afraid to show that they don't know something. That's super common. Like I've got a say girl, got a woman on my team. I think she's late 20s, something like that. And she is smart. She is fantastic. Yes, I hired well, but she knows way more about a lot of stuff that I don't. And it's my goal to just make sure she's got the right environment, the right training around her so that she can get better and better. A lot of leaders won't say that. They won't say, you're better. It's me. If I die tomorrow, my team's going to be just fine. And I hope that they can grow and they don't need me. They don't need to run everything through me. It's decentralizing command, essentially, for those
Mhm.
Jocko people out there that like Jocko.
Yeah. I think that comes with it comes with seasons though too, because it depends on where your team is at. Because I feel like in the beginning of someone in the brand new, like in their role, or changing roles, and like they don't know everything about that role yet. It requires a little bit more micromanaging than
Yeah.
once they like grow a little bit. And so you have to be flexible as a leader to know this is when I need to be a little more involved. This is when you're
Right.
ready to take things on your own. And I think that shift can be difficult too, to just let go and be like, "You know what? You got this." Like,
Yeah, it's definitely at a certain point it becomes trust and verify, but it starts with trust. And I think you make a really great point is yeah, you have to show me you can do it. It's not like day one, hey, I trust you, go. But it's, hey, here's my expectations. Here's what we're trying to get to. You don't know how to get there? Great, let's train you. And then at a certain point, yeah, I'm going to check in on you periodically. Just want to make sure we're staying on the right track. But yeah, you're at this point, you're better at it than me. Go.
yep. Yeah, I think that's the hardest part is that go. And then you know that they're going to make mistakes
Yeah,
and things are not going to turn out the way that they wanted or whatever, and that's good.
yeah,
But it also like whenever something happens like on my team, like it's my responsibility. Like that mistake
yep,
is my fault. So
yep.
how can, where could I have been better? Which is fine, but it also is hard on the leader. It's just tough because you don't want those mistakes to happen. You want everything to be perfect.
It's a fail forward environment. Okay, if you're doing it 5, 6 times, and one, I didn't address it as a leader, but then two, you're not correcting it, that is an issue, right? So if you see a failure and it happens, even as small as a typo that nobody caught because you were moving too fast. Like I said it this morning in our coffee talk because we had a marketing meeting. It was like, hey, before you send that out, send that to a couple people. Let's just take a look at it. I'm sure it's perfect, but slow down and let's look at it. But if a mistake happens, and you overreact to it, they're not going to come to you. If
Yeah.
it's just like parenting, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to go, hey, that's okay. Did we learn from it? Let's just not do it again and keep moving.
Yep. Yeah, there's so many things that are just like parenting.
Yeah.
It's so
And that's
true.
not, I'm not saying, hey, I'm parenting my kids at work. I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
But
no, I don't. No, I totally agree. I take the stuff I learn at work and also use that in my parenting because I'm like, someday a boss is going to tell you this and let's just get it over with now.
yeah, like I said, going back to the story earlier, my favorite thing is that person that I was describing earlier now has the confidence that she's going to go up and run a meeting and she's not going to do it exactly like I do it. That is an actual progression of creating an environment where you can go fail, you can go try things, you can go do it. And I'm going to support you, I'm going to train you, but I'm going to support you either way.
Yeah.
Because like you
Yeah.
said, at the end of the day, it's my responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah. And you have to remember too, as perfect as we are now, we made mistakes too. And like I did some really stupid shit. And if
Yeah.
somebody believed in me then and didn't fire me and
Yep.
let me work through that. And I want to be able to give that to other people too.
Yep. 100%.
Okay, so we're almost out of time. So I've got a couple more questions. My favorite questions always come at the end. So the first one is, what is your inspiration? What keeps inspiring you to keep going, to keep innovating, to keep doing all of these things? What is that for you?
It's the end goal overall. But at the end of the day, yeah, I do it all because I have to take care of my family. I just get to do it in a way that I love what I do. I'll never be in another profession, always home building. If you said, what is your favorite thing in my whole career? It's building a home that I know somebody's going to move into and they're going to create a life there. The actual moment is if you're putting in wood, like hardwood floors, hand scraped with cabinets and it's cold outside and I've got a cup of coffee and I'm walking something that I built. Oh, if I could do what I do now and still build homes, I love it. Like I say all the time, so many people work on an Excel spreadsheet or something similar, and no knock on it, that no one's ever gonna see. But we get to put stuff out there where we build somebody's home, and that's what we get to do as marketers. We get to do what we need to do so that we can sell more homes. Salespeople, they can sell more homes so that they can then create impact lives. And it's a whole ecosystem. Everybody makes money in this business, and we get to ultimately make an impact on one family. And we get to do it 500, 1,000 times, depending on the company in a year. So that's what I am motivated by. And ultimately too is I always tell every new hire in this business, don't be a bottle rocket, meaning you get one name for yourself. So make it mean something. Like when they say Sarah, what does that mean? When they say Taylor, what does that mean? And you get to create that narrative, right? So that's my motivation.
Yeah, I love that. Homes are such an emotional thing, and so many people, like everybody remembers their home at a certain point in their life. And yeah, we get to change lives. And when you think about it, like all of our little issues and like mistakes and things like that, they really start shrinking down when you really think about this whole picture because
Yeah.
we're saving PDFs here. We're not saving lives. So it just chill out.
Yeah, taking my daughter now through a neighborhood that I built almost 20
Uh-huh.
years ago and seeing it is it's impactful. It's hey, that's going to be here long after I'm here, and every single person at this company gets to experience that. All the more reason for us to have those coffee talks like out in the field.
Yeah.
Yes, like you said, saving PDFs, but those things make such an impact. So you need to go out and walk the product that you're actually marketing for so you can see what you're doing because you're making an impact. You really are. You just may not
Yeah.
realize it in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Every little bit goes to help this overall goal. I think the saving PDFs thing is I think we put so much importance on we have this deadline and I have to get this social media post out on this minute. And it's okay, but the bigger goal is so much more than like that tiny thing that you're like super stressed about.
Yeah.
And think about all of these other things that, you're impacting.
You have to find joys in the every step of it. This is
Yeah.
silly. We just ran a ten day promotion and it ended yesterday, but just seeing the animation, the graphics that were put into it, and that just shows you how much we care about every little nuance that's going into it. It just warms my heart that I'm like, man, I say a whole team. There's three of us in our marketing department, but just seeing it execute and knowing hey, we sold 10 houses in 10 days without telling you the whole backstory when we weren't supposed to sell any homes. And a lot of that is because the team worked together as a unit between sales and marketing to actually make it happen.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so this is my last question. So, what is one piece of advice that you would give like a new leader or someone stepping into like their first leadership role? What is something that you would want them to know or that you wish more leaders knew early on?
Oh, so one main answer is ask for help. You don't know it all. No one expects you to know it all. If you do go out as a young, brand new leader, no matter which department you're in, and you act like you know it all, you will lose all respect overall from your team. I've been in it 20 years. We have stuff pop up all the time. I'm like, I don't know. I got to figure that out, right? That creates more of an environment of you having showing that you don't know something may in the moment make you feel a little uncomfortable, but it shows your team that they can say when they don't know something too. And you guys can learn together. Go learn, go accumulate that knowledge together. But then, like I said, overall, you keep that respect of it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to not know anything. And then on the flip side of asking questions, if you really want to know, go find somebody, whether it's on LinkedIn. You and I know I'm speaking for you, but I know you would absolutely do this is reach out to somebody and go, hey, can we have coffee? Can we have lunch? Can we hop on a call? Like I mentioned Rhonda Conger the other day or earlier. I had never met her before. This was probably been 5, 6 years ago. I just called her out of the blue. She was wonderful. I had a 30 or 45-minute phone call with her. She didn't have to do any of that. But people that are in the roles that you want to get to, no one's asking them. We're saying, hey, ask us. And then when you
Mhm.
do, we want to pass on. We want to give you that information that we've accumulated for, especially for those that want to achieve.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such an honor when someone comes to me. Like, I'm so like, first of all, thank you. Wow, like you saw me
Yeah,
and was like, "Oh my gosh, I have questions for her." That's just such an honor, but it means like we can build legacy that way. So you're really giving us a gift. Like
a
I'm
hundred
able
percent.
to build a legacy now.
That's a really great point that you're giving us a gift by asking or giving us the opportunity to do so. Now, take it, use it. That's what we're asking you to
Mhm.
do, or that's the exchange, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'll absolutely tell you if you go do something, but there's so many leaders that you see all over LinkedIn in our industry that will 100% help you if you reach out. But you got to take that step.
Yep. Yep. I can personally attest to it because I was telling you earlier, like starting this podcast, I was like, who's going to ever come on this? And I have gotten so many amazing people to come and share their stories and share their expertise. And that's really what I think my bigger goal in this is to create that collaboration. There is room for all of us at the top,
Yeah.
regardless of if you're home builders, if you're a small business, if you are competing vendors, we can all be here and we can all thrive together. And that like competition doesn't have to exist. And I think that I've just been so excited to have conversations with so many different people. And that's my personal takeaway from this whole experience is just that, just go ask. That's such great advice.
Yeah, you just said it. Our sales team, even some of our marketing team, they don't want to share what they're doing because they think the competition's gonna steal it or whatever. And I always tell my sales team, I'm like, listen, if you go and you're doing a CMA and you can't get what you need, let me know. I'll text their boss and he's just gonna tell me straight up what I need because we all talk to each other. We all try and help because there's a ton of them that is going around. Excuse me. There's so much opportunity in this business
Yeah.
that there's so much more to share, and we all want to help each other.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. If somebody were to want to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, easiest is LinkedIn. It's pretty straightforward on Taylor Humphrey and LinkedIn, and then newhomes.taylor on Instagram are probably the two easiest.
Perfect. All right. I will put those links, if I remember, I will put those links in the description box. And that way you can reach out to Taylor. I'm in a couple groups with you, and I think that you have a wealth of knowledge to give to anybody who asks. Do that, everybody. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will be back next week with another episode. So everybody come back then and follow. That really helps me out. And then head over to LinkedIn and hit up Taylor.
Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. All right, everybody. We'll see you in the next episode. Peace out.